Hey, West.
Welcome back to another episode of Chocolate Conversations Podcast, where we have real conversations that speak directly to you. I'm your host, Keon Taylor, aka Key, alongside my co-host, the inspirational Dr. V, and last but not least, the myth, the legend, Poppy Stokes, everybody.
Yes.
What's going on, brother? How are you?
I'm doing good, sir. How are y'all, beautiful people?
I'm
good. How
great.
you be?
I'm
Alright.
good. I'm good. Living the dream.
Oh yeah. Well, we
Yes.
got an amazing show for you guys today. But before we get started, make sure you like this video, subscribe this video, share this video, comment on this video. Well, without further ado, let's get into this.
Let's get it.
This is a touchy subject what I have today. This is a topic I think everyone who's been in a relationship has always been curious about, whether they want to know it or not. Should you disclose your sexual history to your partner, or does it even matter? Now, before you guys get into that, I'm gonna say, leave it all in the past. You know what I mean? Your past is your past. But I know that's neither here. I know that's easier said than done. But go ahead, Hafiz. What you have on it?
Man, yeah, that's definitely, that topic is very even more sensitive now.
Oh, yeah.
I would say, like the old saying, don't ask, don't tell. And kind of in situations, so if you don't want to know, then don't go searching and asking. But there are some different layers to that where knowing a person's sexual history or past could be important or could potentially jeopardize the relationship if not knowing. Let's say if a person if they were engaged in any type of sex work activity, or they have sexual activities time-stamped on the internet, or there's footage or anything like that, or they have like a OnlyFans account or something like that, then stuff like that may need to be addressed up front. So that way there's no secrets, and then the person can decide if they want to continue to pursue the relationship or not with them. So something like that probably does need to be addressed up front.
I agree with that because for me, I'm afraid if I'm with somebody I really love and truly enjoy being with, and I found out they had another life.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I can't. To be honest with you, I can't tell you whether or not I would be okay with it or not. I can't, because I would have to be in that situation. But what you got, B?
It's funny you say that because stats say that most men aren't comfortable with knowing their women's history or body count. You just assume that the woman should have a lower body count than you guys, but sometimes if she's never been married, depending if she went to a HBCU or something like that, or if she wasn't never always in a relationship and she was just free, she might, might be more experienced, but doesn't mean she didn't do it in a thoughtful manner.
Yeah.
For me, I'm like, I think it's levels to it. Like you said, it's some things you should discuss. I agree with what you said, like different things you engaged in or past, or if your listen, don't ask me my number. I'm not going to ask you. But if it's like over 200 or something wild where it would be shocking to gender neutral men and women, then I think it needs to be discussed, and then let it's like put it all out on the table and let the person make an informed decision, like if they want to keep rocking with you, because if it's in the past and we let things go, and we're not going to hold it against you, like God doesn't hold things against us, He forgives us. So it's like we should be able to do the same if you see that person doesn't move this in the same manner. But if the person moves in the same manner, right, especially for us women, if a dude is still moving like he was, like when he was out in the streets and he has, he was doing those different things, engaging with prostitutes or whatever the case may be, then it is gonna have an impact.
You said something very interesting, Dr. V. You said being upfront, but why is it so hard for people to be upfront? Maybe you guys can piggyback on this, because I get what you're saying. You guys make some really good, valid points, but maybe that person say, you know what, I want to be upfront. I mean, I don't mind telling he or she, but I don't want to be judged. I don't want to be turned away. Why is it so hard for people to just be upfront about that or to be forthcoming about that?
One thing is hard because we talk about, people love with conditions. So if they feel like, first you have to create a safe space.
Yeah.
And women, I'll say for myself, but most women, we do know that for men to be vulnerable, we have to create a safe space for you guys to be able to open up to us about family dynamics, relationship history, traumas, different things like that. That's the same with the sexual past. Even though, it's an ego thing and a pride for you guys, we still know for you guys to be vulnerable and honest about it and to be very authentic, you have to feel that you are in a safe space where we're not going to judge you. And so I think it comes with unconditional love. Like if you really, you're getting to know somebody and you really love that person, or if you really want to rock with that person, when I'm sharing things, I'm being vulnerable, it's like give and take, then it allows the other person to be comfortable. You know what? She didn't have to tell me about that happened or whatever. Let me open up. I noticed that's worked for me in the past when it's not just one-sided. If it's one-sided, then it's like, okay, yeah, they're gonna judge me, or she's gonna be mad that I did X, Y, and Z in my 20s or whatever. Because we all got to pass, right? Especially the older we get.
And my thing is this: don't ask for something you can't handle. You want to know my body. You want to know the real. Don't ask for something you can't handle. Now, I'll tell you the truth, but if you can't handle it, or if there's something that you can't internalize, don't ask for it. Because
right.
I do feel like in some capacity, some things are better left unsaid. But if you really want to know, make sure you're strong enough to deal with it.
Yeah.
What I'm about to tell you.
Right. Well, that just goes back to, I mean, it's people only hide it if they're ashamed about it. I mean, that's just it, point blank, period. I mean, most people have had a few bodies, 1 or 2, whatever. So they say men up theirs, well, men lie about theirs while women say differently. you have to up it. But it's only like I said, it's only shameful when the past is kind of like deteriorating or something like that. Like I said, if they had some sex work or if they have some sexual encounters out on the internet or where others can see, those type of situations is where somebody can might want to hide it or might want to be upfront with it. So yeah,
I can feel you on that. Let me make this a little bit more interesting. So let me ask you guys something. So, how many bodies is too many bodies? Now I'm gonna start with you, Dr. V. So say I'm your man. We had this conversation, right? And you was like, "All right, baby, look, I just want to know your body count. I ain't gonna judge you, whatever, like that." So my question to you is, how many bodies is too many bodies when it comes to you dealing with a man? Give me you gotta give me.
Okay,
because
this is funny. So if he's around my age, right? I think over 100 is kind of excessive. I don't know.
For a man.
That's not, y'all don't think so?
Is
that the average?
No, that's definitely not the
Because
average.
I've met dudes where they was lower than that.
But here's the thing: a lot of women want the men with with all the characteristics that women desire. These men probably have some history, have a little track record.
So what's average? 200 for men?
I'm not gonna say that,
not
but
200.
Okay,
I'm not gonna say that.
So that's why I was like 100. I'm thinking. That's
but here's the thing to look at too. It's probably men. It's probably men out there that have had a lot of sex partners, but it's probably men out there that have had fewer sex partners and maybe caught some or whatever. So sometimes it's not really the amount, but it's who you're having sex with. But it could vary.
Yeah. I was just about to piggyback on what you were saying, Keon.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's who your partners in the past, because I'm gonna keep it up. People they size up who your previous ex was. Like men, ladies, men do this. Like if they see, okay, let's say if a woman has a child and they meet her child's father, and he's a new guy in a relationship, you gonna size them like, damn, that's who you had a baby with? And girls do it too. Girls do it too. Like, damn, that's your baby mama? Yeah. Oh, God, you must have had a rough time in your life. They and that could dictate how, how your influence in the rest of the dating market be sometimes. So,
Hey, that's real. That's true stuff.
Yeah.
What about you, Hafiz? So if you in a relationship with a woman and she said, and y'all had this conversation, even though you probably wouldn't want to know, and you say, okay, all right, baby, let's talk about body counts here. What's too many bodies if you're dealing with a woman right now? I'm talking about she's an amazing woman. You guys are good together. Everything is amazing. But y'all just had this. It comes down to this conversation right here. Bodies. What's too many bodies?
Well, first, I probably wouldn't. God, it's such a sensitive topic. Like I honestly don't.
Hey.
I would prefer her to tell me if she had a sexual act that I could see visibly. Like I could just like don't catch me off guard. Like you got an OnlyFans or you've done sex work or any of your sexual activity. I can see and others can see. I would like to know more about that than kind of knowing your how many bodies. Because like I said, if you go asking, you're gonna find out.
What if she's had like a threesome or had like, same gender? You want to know stuff like that?
Hey, baby, it was college. It was just college, all right? I'm just doing something.
Or do you not care?
Yeah, I guess it just depends. Like how my feelings for her. Yeah, I mean, if we get to the topic of conversation about that, and she asks me, then yeah, I guess I'll probably reciprocate the same energy back to her and wanting to like, well, just inquire. You can be upfront with me. Tell me if there's anything out there or if there's anything that I don't know of. Please let me know. So yeah, I guess yeah.
I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I feel like when it comes to a number and all that, men are a little bit more. We're more hard on the number thing than women. Females understand. Look, a man gonna be a man sometimes. Yeah. Whether it's his past or what have you. But with men, we're a little bit more conservative. Like for me, I'm gonna say no more than 10. For me, I know it's unrealistic. Hey, that's just wishful thinking for me. I'm gonna say, hey, if she has more than 10, I know it varies with age and experiences, but
it definitely varies with age.
Know,
really,
right?
10?
10? There's some girls I got that's
way
10
past
right
that.
now.
But
Yeah,
you got to have realistic expectations, realistic goals. 10.
Yeah,
that ain't realistic, boo.
A man can wish, but I know it's unrealistic. But ideally, I would say less than 10. But here's the thing: you got some women out there that got married at an early age, and she only had her husband. That's all she had. That's the only, and they're probably in their 40s and 50s. So I'm just saying it's possible, to have a realistic.
Unless
it's not realistic though.
Yeah, I mean, unless you've been in long-term relationships, a couple long-term relationships.
Yeah,
there you go.
It's possible.
But if you put, I'm gonna tell you this: if you put that out there, they're gonna lie to you, and they're gonna tell you, "Oh no, I only had 5."
Ladies, don't lie to me.
Oh, they're gonna lie because
me.
they're gonna lie. They're gonna tell. Listen. We know how to stroke your ego. We're gonna tell you what you want to hear. If we know, if we think it will crush it, you can't really, like you said. Y'all overinflate. Nah, I only had 8 when it was like 20.
Right.
So to ask both of you guys this question: so, does body count weigh differently with men versus women? And
I
if
don't
so,
think
why?
it should.
And your own
I don't think it should, but we know it does. There's a double.
It absolutely does.
Double standard.
It's not really a double standard. It's just men and women have different societal standards and societal norms.
It's a double standard.
There are double standards that affect men and women for better and for worse. We just have to accept it.
Yep.
We just have to accept it. It's the reason why, because sex is not the same for men and women, right? A woman, average at best woman, can walk out the door and get sex if she wanted to. Whereas a man, he has to have some level of attraction to even get sexual access to a woman. That's the reason why it's not the same.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that. I agree with that because, when it comes to men and women, women, they're a little bit like, okay, even though he's probably had a past, he's probably, as long as he's not in that boy stage now, he's moving forward and everything is cool. She's not going to really look at it differently. But with men, we're looking at it like, man, 50? 100? Damn, baby, what you doing?
But I will say it depends on the type of woman, because it depends on the type of woman. Because if you really been out there, we are gonna look at it a certain way. We're just not gonna vocalize it. We're not gonna make it a big deal.
I would say this, that women are more open to a man having more sexual bodies than men are with women.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Like they asked the question, if a woman who's a virgin, she would prefer to lose her virginity not to another version, but to a man who has experience.
Yeah.
She want experience.
She want experience.
Yeah.
She don't want to lose her virginity to another virgin unless they're married. But if she just like, I just got to get this off. It's been hurt. I've been waiting. She gonna go to a guy that got
But you
more
would think it
experience.
would be, but you would think it would be the opposite.
You would
like,
think it would be the opposite.
Why would I want a penis that other women have had when I can get a penis that no woman has had? You would think logically that would make more sense. But
would think.
in her mind, hey,
Yeah.
I want a man who knows what he's doing. I want a man that's qualified for this
Exactly.
job or this itch.
Exactly.
Because it's harder for us to orgasm. So of course we want somebody that's experienced.
Be
And
that
depending where we are in life, we don't want to teach you.
So why is it? So that's it's funny. It's interesting you say that. Why is it hard for women to orgasm? What's the reason for that? I'm curious.
That's a question.
You got me curious.
That's a question for God. He made our bodies like this. I mean, you know, a lot of it has to do with the mental and emotional connection. Definitely,
They
right?
do say sex is 90% mental, 10% physical.
That's right. And then also, the more a woman knows their body, and it comes with age, because when you're younger, you really don't know, right? But the older you get and you know your body, we know how to guide you guys. But it's definitely mentally and emotionally. If it's real strong, then yeah, definitely.
I mean, yeah, some of that, but it's a lot of girls that had a lot of sexual experiences. So their, let's say, female parts and areas might not be. It might lose some of the sensitivity.
Yeah, I mean, you.
Okay,
so let's talk. Okay, so let's talk about it. For the women who are very experienced or whatever the case may be, still, if a man knows what he's doing and there's a connection, she's gonna have an orgasm because you're not a woman. You're not a woman. I'm a woman.
Okay.
It comes. It comes out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So we don't know if it's going to. So if she has a connection and you know what you're doing, she's going to have an orgasm, regardless of how worn or whatever the case, whatever y'all say down there.
Okay.
Yeah. That's period.
That's a lot to a woman's body. But
Yeah.
that's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
But let me ask you guys this. Let me pivot for a moment. Do you guys feel like, and you can give me your honest reaction to this, do you feel like money and sex play too big of a role in today's relationships, especially in Black American relationships today, when it comes to just being with each other? Because I feel like relationships is based on more than just sex and money. But do you feel like we put too big of an emphasis and value on money and sex when it comes to our relationships in the Black community? And I'm gonna start with you, Hafiz, on this one.
Yeah, we do sometimes.
Okay.
I had a conversation with somebody about this earlier, girl. We're the only race of people who still argue about splitting bills, going 50-50 and things of that nature, while other communities, both parties are working. Even sometimes there are some situations where the wife is out earning the husband and she still come home, respect her man, and they build legacy.
Yeah.
While we still here arguing about 50-50, this, take me this, I ain't going to this place and that, while other communities are just figuring it out, getting together, transferring their wealth onto their kids and passing it on. So it is a little bit of that in our community.
If a dude don't have the 12 inch, if he ain't got the 100,000, if he ain't got the 6 foot, 6 figures, 666, you know what I mean? I ain't talking to him. What we talking about? But you would think that it should be based on love, trust, building, being a great father, being a great example in the community. But I'm gonna go to you, Dr. B.
So I can definitely see finances because we know that that's important. I do agree that our race, but I feel like every race, in today's society, I feel like a lot of people, regardless of the race, puts a lot of emphasis on finance, right? And some women will say, oh, he has to make a certain amount or whatever the case may be. And as you said before, me and you've had the conversation where it can be your dream guy and he has all these qualities. But if a woman feels like he doesn't make where she wants him to make, then she'll automatically disqualify him. I don't think that's right? And I do notice that age has a lot to do with it because when you get to a certain age, there's that certain expectation. Like you should be advanced to where you at least should have your own car. Don't be superficial, like he got to drive a Lamborghini or something that's not realistic, right? Do you have to pick him up or does he have to use your car? No, then keep it moving. Like if you don't have to do that, why are you putting the emphasis on what type of car he got? Now, I love cars. I'm into cars, sports, because my dad, I'm a daddy's girl, so I'm just always gonna have a nice car. But I don't require that from a guy I'm dating or a guy I'm with. I've never been like that, right? And then women, we do want to feel protected as a provider, financial stability, and things like that. So I feel like these days women can put a lot of emphasis on it. Men, y'all might put more emphasis on sex than we do.
I'm gonna say yes and no. I'm gonna say yes for the standpoint of, of course, women are the gatekeepers to sex, men are the gatekeepers to relationships. So as men, we're more physical based. So of course, when we see a beautiful chick with a big old booty or what have you, of course, in our minds we're thinking about, man, I would really do that.
Backwards.
But we know that. But here's the thing with us men, though, we know the chicks where we say, okay, that's a part-time lover right there. Okay, she may not have a big booty over here, but she's wifey. Oh, she's a chick that I can take seriously. She's a chick I can build a family with. But this chick right here, hey, I just, maybe it's just a little fun time. So I think with men, we know how to kind of separate that, even though, so we understand, okay, if I'm going to bring her home to mama, she's going to have to bring more than just a pretty big butt and a smile. It's going to have to be a lot more than that. It has to be her essence, her personality. Can you fry an egg? You know what I mean?
Right,
cook?
that's easy.
Well, I'm just saying cooking. It's a metaphor for cooking. Can she pray for me? You know what I mean? So we're looking at the big picture, but interesting. Okay, good stuff.
Can she cook that mac and cheese you love? You love my mac and cheese.
Some mac and cheese now. Love it.
It's the key to a man's heart right there.
Man. So I'm gonna ask you guys something. Body count. And when we talk about body count, who you've been with, have you guys heard this saying soul ties? Letting everybody in your body, giving everybody a taste of that soul ties. Do y'all believe in soul ties? And if so, to people out there who don't know what that is, what does that mean? Because I've heard that before. Like, I don't want to do this because of soul ties. And when you letting all these people inside you, when you experiencing all these different people, man, you got soul ties. You're always connected to that person. Is that a thing?
Yeah, so I definitely believe in soul ties.
Okay.
That I didn't know about it when I was like early 20s, right? Even though I was raised in the church. So I really learned about it and studied about it when I was older. So that made me more conscious of who I did lay down with and like that, and just real talk. So when I got in my 30s, it might have been like, I went like 4.5 years where I didn't even have sex, I'm gonna be honest. And I might have had 4 partners in a 10-year span because I was finishing up my doctorate, I was focused, but I knew the importance of, soul ties. When you lay down with somebody and you take on their personality, different things of that nature, it's like back in the olden days, if you do believe in the Bible, they didn't have wedding rings. They consummated a marriage when they laid down with each other. So, definitely soul ties is important. I believe in them. And then once you're done with somebody, because that's kind of like what keeps bringing you back to that person, right? What you can't fix. Sometimes when you're like, you've been done with that person, over that person for like, it might be a year, but you hear something or you think of something or you smell something that reminds you of that person. And that's like that attachment that you have no idea.
But is that connected to sex?
Yes. It's through sex. It's through sex. And for men, it's easy for y'all because y'all enter inside of us. But it's women, we view it totally different. Who we gonna let enter inside of us?
So you understand why when a woman give a certain body count, and men are just like, oh, that many versus with men. A man
Yeah.
could do it, but then have no
No,
touch.
I mean I get it. I just say it's a double standard because it ain't right. But of course, I understand. Like if a man says he got 200, and then a woman says she got 200, y'all gonna be like, oh no, throw her away. You know what I'm saying? Throw her away.
Definitely
Send
not
her,
the same.
she
Definitely
for
not
the
the same.
streets. You know what I'm saying?
Not
I
for
get
the
that.
streets.
Yeah, that's what y'all gonna say, right? But if a dude, especially if he's in the league or something, he's an athlete. Oh, that's to be expected. So I get it.
I don't know. I just feel like soul ties. I mean, I've heard it. I just feel like soul ties is generally when you've dealt people. I feel like sometimes people throw that word and that tone out there because they dealt with toxic people, not the best people.
Right.
So we all know how toxicity, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, is so strong that it can just, you can be a decent person and just dealt with the wrong man or woman, and that can just change your whole energy. And so with soul ties, like you said, it attaches. Like you, I think it's just something like when you deal with somebody long term, a little bit longer, than just like a quick fix. Because
when you in this game, sometimes you ain't thinking about no. Because
like you said, it brings you back to them. Like you've dealt with that person.
So you think soul ties is tied to relationships?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, something a little bit deeper. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
have
a
you
little
done
bit
your
deeper.
research on it? Have you done your research on it?
No.
Okay. So yeah, it's tied to
but
to
here's
sex,
here's
though.
the thing though.
It's tied to
here's
sex.
here's the thing.
Every time you have sex, it's tied to sex.
But here's the caveat to this. Here's the caveat. Both of you guys are not wrong with what you're saying, but here's the thing.
Yeah.
With what you're saying, it makes sense for a woman to feel what you're saying, but him being a man, that makes sense because again, we're not. You know, when a woman has sex with a guy, those emotions and stuff are there.
Right.
With men, we can disconnect from it. So I can understand on his end with soul ties saying, okay, something a little bit more deeper versus with you, letting the guy.
But even the people that might have been a one-time thing, it's still a soul tie because we've laid down together. So I'm talking about actually doing, when you study it and you've done the research, it's intimacy of sex. So that's what I'm saying.
So just strictly sex, nothing deeper, no emotional connection or nothing like that.
I'm not saying it's emotional connection because women, we can have emotional connection. But what I'm saying is it definitely starts from you done had sex. So even if it's somebody that you been with once or twice, that's it's. The thing is, sometimes we don't want to accept certain things. We got soul ties with people we might not realize it.
I don't even remember.
Right. So that's all it is. You know what I'm saying?
I got it. So let me ask you guys this, though. Traditionally, they say wait till marriage. Wait till marriage. I know my parents just say this growing up. Wait till marriage. Don't be so quick to do it. That's what's wrong with you young people now. You always want to do it. You know, wait till marriage. You know, why is that such a rarity these days? You know, you wait for marriage. What? I want the cookies now. I want it. Why I can't get it now? Why I can't test drive it now? So why is that so rare these days for people just, hey, to minimize all this body count or sex history, wait till marriage, it's all good. Why is that, even though it's such a simple rule to follow, very few people do it?
I mean, marriages are low, one. And,
True,
and marriages, people not staying in marriages for all kinds of reasons.
Yeah.
So I would attest that. I would attest to that. And then we live in a more modern lifestyle right now where people have more access to things. Where we're in a social media dating app climate where people have now a more overinflated reality of their options. So you take all that into account, you get this kind of deregulated dating market that we have right now. So, yeah.
And for my perspective, you know, me and you shared such a beautiful moment as my brother when I said I made the decision last year to be like, I'm going to wait until marriage. This is what I want to do. This is where I'm at mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and everything. And you're encouraging words and stuff like that. So I agree. Definitely a lot with social media, but it's not easy to do, right?
No.
And it requires a lot of discipline and you know, things of that nature. But it's so beautiful and rewarding if that's the path you choose to do for yourself. It's amazing because it's certain things that even though I do have a sexual past, right, and being 42, I can say there's certain things that I still have reserved for my husband. My whole entire life. There's certain things that I have not done because I'm like, I want to, you know what? I just want to reserve this for my husband. You know what I mean? And I think that's dope.
I think it's very dope. So I think it's beautiful. But let me can I play devil's advocate for a moment?
Yes.
Go ahead.
You gonna do it.
So I'm a guy dating you, right? We're feeling each other. We're consistent. Everything is going well, right? So maybe I'm at your house one day, we kicking it, and maybe we kissing, whatever we're doing. And you hit me with the conversation. Hey, I like you and all. I want to wait until marriage. I just think that is just something what's best for me, right? And he's looking at you like, I know she ain't no damn virgin. I mean, these So you mean tell me these other dudes got the cookie? Like, I can't. I mean, we've been vibing. I done spent bands on days we hanging out, and I like her. Everything is cool, but damn, I gotta wait. So even though I agree with you, and I think you should, is that realistic based on what the dating culture is today and how people are today?
I don't care if it's realistic. I just need one person to understand. Because I know people like my sister. I have male friends who's done it, waited for their spouse, vice versa, and it just depends where people are at. And and I respect people if they're not there. That's their choice. But this is my path, and I just. Like I said, it just need one. It's like and I'm gonna be upfront. I'm not gonna lead the person on. But one thing I do love, the advice that you gave me is that if a man sees more value in you, that he will wait.
Absolutely.
Like I know I'm a dope ass woman, beautifully flawed, because we're all flawed. Nobody's perfect. But I think it's important when we're single to really invest the time to work on yourself, to just be the best version of you. So when you do meet whoever you want to meet, if you choose to be married or be single for the rest of your life, just you're comfortable in that authentic person showing up. You know what I mean? And so I know I'm amazing. I know that I'm walking and I'm the woman who God has called me to be at this point in my life. And I'm excited about that because it took a lot of healing. It took a lot of growth. It took a lot of uncomfortable years of, when you're changing and everything and God is changing you for the better. So again, I believe that it won't be hard for the right man if that's where he's at mentally, spiritually, and physically. It won't be hard for him to wait because he'll see all the other value that I bring to the table. Okay. And it's a lot.
Okay.
I like that. I
mean, I'm gonna say that. That's just
let me say this. Are you okay with the alternative of that?
Meaning?
Like if it takes longer or okay.
Yeah.
All right. I always tell.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, I know it'll be worth it.
Okay. All right. As long as you.
That's good stuff.
Right.
So I know the state of.
So wait a minute. Pause. Because he got to look. He got to look.
No.
Face.
I'm just saying. No, I just say
so,
like.
So I'm gonna ask you.
No,
if you was dating a dope woman, where you
I
at
think
in
y'all
life?
asked me this before.
Yeah. Would you? Where are you at? Would you wait?
It really just depends. Like it really just depends. Like Keon said, how much value she brings to me, just her background, other characteristics, preferably no kids. That would be a plus.
But it's not impossible.
It's not impossible.
Okay.
It's not impossible.
Yeah. All right.
Not possible.
So
you answer my question.
Yeah. So guys, I know we're talking about should you disclose your sexual history. Let's just keep it all the way up being. When you look at the dating culture in today's world, it's a hookup culture now we living in. That's just what we in. Sex is everywhere. It's in your movies, it's in the music. What's that chick name that sings that My Booty Hole's Brown?
Sexy Red. Sexy Red.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
So do you feel like with hookup culture, do you guys feel like it's going to continue to take over the dating world going forward? Because, marriage rates and stuff is going down. Do you feel like, as far as people having high body counts, do you feel like that's going to continue to increase? Or do you guys feel like, it may not be that way going forward? Like, what are your perspectives on that?
I feel like
I think it's going to get worse personally. I think you based on, but I think certain people will get it right, based on influence, upbringing, stuff like that. Just to start it off. But I think sex is everywhere. It's inflated. In movies, it's in music, it's everywhere. I mean, sex sells. But what's your perspective on that?
It takes courage to stand out, right, and not go with what people think is cool in the society, like the trends and stuff like that, to stand out from that, and really calls you to be comfortable where you are in life and comfortable in your skin. But I do agree. I think it's just going to get worse because a lot of people, you said the marriage rates are down, the divorce rates are higher, and a lot of people don't value commitment as much as they used to. Back in our days, blessed to say, my parents are still together 45 years. But a lot of people these days, they're gone within 1 year, don't even make it to the 5 year. Because they say that first 5 years of marriage is the worst part because you're so used to being your individual selves and you're coming together and you're trying to bring everything together. So if you make it past the 5 years, you have a chance, but a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
So I do think it is going to get worse, but to your point, it depends on how everybody was raised. And again, me and my brother, my sister's married, me and my brother, we are just like, we value that. That's what we grew up in, and it's sacred to us, and we're not gonna take it lightly. So that's our values. So, and I do meet a lot of people who still say they as well. And then some of my friends will be like, V, you're so traditional. I'm like, I don't care. I love that. Like that's because I'm always gonna be different. I'm a leader. Like I'm not a follower. I don't care about what society thinks is cool. And the beautiful thing when you hit your 40s is you don't care about what society thinks. You don't care about what's cool. You just you're blessed because you're looking at it like, oh my gosh, it's 10 years to 50. So I'm going to live my life the way I want to live it. And I don't give a fuck about what nobody says. You know what I mean? And that's very freeing because a lot of people live their lives based on what their family thinks, their expectation, co-workers, how they should move, or different. If you're on, I'm on different boards, if you're involved in the community, they live their lives based on all those expectations and how everybody think they should. But when you get a certain age, you be like, I don't care what nobody thinks. I want to live for me. And that's freeing.
Right.
So.
I think it's going to get worse. I mean, the population has doubled over the last 30 years anyway. I mean, it's no way.
Everybody fucking.
There's no way
right?
you get this many. And this is why the population growing, it has affected the economy, inflation, all of that. Because you got more people, more mouths to feed, more people working, things that have to go up to balance out the number of people. So I think platforms like this and others are going to just kind of spark continuous conversation, chocolate conversation, right? Yeah. It's going to continue to spark healthy dialogue. We might not be able to save everyone, but as long as we can spark a few
and get people talking
and having different perspectives and minds. But as far as this sex craze, it's not going anywhere, man. We have too much access. You just gotta kind of get in where you fit in, be safe.
Because most people want to, they want to test drive the car. They don't want to buy it off the lot. They don't want to put in that note, call the make it come. They want to say, let me test drive it.
This is for men and women with no default voice. Right. I mean, people need to know what they're signing up for.
So what's funny is I just expressed where I am today in life, but my mom and my dad used to say that back to me because they know that was my number one saying. I gotta test drive the car. So they was shocked, what? You ain't gonna test drive it? Nah, I'm good.
I mean, the point they're trying to make is because you get into a relationship and then you find out that, so that part of that aspect is lacking. Now you're like, damn,
the sex
I'm
was
already
good.
in it.
The sex was good, but she crazy in the head.
Yeah.
But sex, good sex, we know that doesn't keep a man. especially in a marriage.
Smart woman.
So
True.
it ain't. I mean, that's a big part of it, but
Yeah.
it's not. That's not what it's all about.
I'm sure.
Because you're
Absolutely.
going to go, and especially if you're married or if you're in a long-term relationship, you're going to go through seasons where you have different things with kids, or you're stressed because somebody loses a job or somebody dies or whatever, the family is sick. So you're going to go through periods where it's like, nah, that's kind of off right now. But it's really about going back to your question about the different, what's important characteristics when you're looking at somebody being with them long-term. So
I mean, and things have become so transactional too in the situation. So that's what's really
relationship.
sparked the sex craze. Like you hear, like you say, even in our music, in our culture, buy me this to get access to this. I mean, you got people saying, pay me money to even get my number and all this and that. So, and if that's, men are pretty simple. They're gonna do whatever it takes to get them some buns. So how the sexual market reacts, that's how I'm gonna react. That's how the men gonna react.
Right.
So
Good point. I researched something yesterday, new term, and it kind of relates to this topic. It really does cohesively. It's called retroactive jealousy. Have you guys ever heard that term before?
no, that's
Let me
different.
read it to you. Retroactive jealousy means you feel threatened by your partner's past relationships. Feeling jealousy about your partner's past may manifest as information-seeking behaviors like social media searching, but may also come up as a constant comparisons of partner, sarcasm, or snooping. And I feel like in some relationships, you have a lot of that going on where maybe I'm with this girl, but maybe based on what she does in our relationship, maybe I'm comparing myself a little bit to who she been with in the past, even though that shouldn't matter. But man, I'm saying, man, was he better than me? Or man, why on the social media, why is these dudes, liking her pictures, or why is this? Do y'all feel like with retroactive jealousy, do you feel like that triggers that? Do you feel like a person's past and stuff triggers retroactive jealousy in your opinion? And have you guys experienced that?
yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, it's a thing. People size up your ex. And there's something called that a lot of women may experience sometimes, is being like an alpha widow. They've been with a top-notch guy, and that relationship didn't work out. Maybe they even had a kid or a marriage in it. And now they're back out in the dating market, dating, just guys who not on that level as the guys that she previously dealt with. And now all those men are trying to size themselves up to the guys they find, especially if it's somebody who with some status or prominency. It can mess up. It can have your insecurities kind of all over the place. Yeah.
For me, I'm very, especially when I'm in a relationship, because and it's so funny because my therapist says this all the time. She's like, "You're so slow to get into relationships." But once I get in a relationship, because I'm super loyal, right? And it's, so when I'm in a relationship, I'm so comfortable where I'm secure. I don't care. To me, I don't care about his past or I don't care about who he was with, or if it was a model, or if it was somebody that may be a higher status or whatever. I don't care, because I'm like, he's with me and I know what I bring to the table and I'm just secure. So I feel like that may play a part if a person is not secure where they are. And I get it, because we all have different insecurities. But for me, once I commit to somebody in a relationship, I'm really secure. So
I feel you. Same here.
does that make sense?
That makes perfect
Okay.
sense. Let me ask y'all this. Are some things better left unsaid? Is there some things in life, because as human, we go through a lot. Is there some things, look, carry it to your grave. There's an old saying, in order for 3 people to keep it secret, 2 of them will have to be dead. Do you feel like with certain things in life, hey, take it to your grave? Some things just don't need to be discussed?
Yeah, definitely. So
But some people say, hey, tell me everything. I should create a safe space for you to want to do that. Or whether you're married, fiance, boyfriend. No, tell me. But I feel like naturally we all judgmental to some form of fashion. So
Yeah.
it's almost like I get why people will carry something to their grave. I
Right.
get it.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Like, what's the value of me divulging this information to our relationship when it happened over 15 years ago? Something that only me and my sister know, and I'm gonna carry it to my grave. Or if it's something that happened, like if it's related to trauma and it is something that is causing me to still have a trigger with something you do, yes, that
Yeah.
needs to be exposed because that brings value to the relationship.
Yeah.
But if it's something that it's just like, nah, it's not gonna bring no value. What does it matter?
Yeah. 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 Anything that could potentially jeopardize the relationship moving forward, it does need to be addressed.
Yeah, I had
Both parties.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had a situation where I was in a relationship with this girl, and she told me that she was molested, by somebody in her family. And when we were in a relationship, if we wasn't having sex a lot, she would think something's wrong. She would think I'm cheating on her, or she would think, oh well, you ain't having sex with me, so who is this other chick? Let me go online. Did you find somebody better than me? You don't love me no more? I was like, whoa, pump your brakes.
Yeah.
But then when she told me her story, about some family members did molest me. Dang, I had to kind of fall back a little bit because now I feel sorry for her. But I'm not saying I'm judging, but it's like, but it makes sense as far as why she the way she is.
Right, because if you've ever been as women or even a man, I'll speak from the woman's perspective. If you've been sexually assaulted or if you have been molested, you feel that if a person went to that level, that sex must be important. So you have to do a lot of healing and therapy and things of that nature to be healed from it, to understand that no, it's not that you, like, I've had guys in the past fall in love with me without even being intimate with them. And so in that situation, it was like she's thinking because what happened to her in the past that it has to be that important because somebody took it from me. And so that's a classic. That's common. That happens a lot in relationships. So I'm glad that she was able to open up to you so you can get some insight of her perspective, why she was moving the way she did.
And you know why? Because you provided her a safe space, Keon.
That's right. That's right.
You provided a safe space.
There you go.
That's right.
There you go. Man, this has been a hell of a topic, man. I'm going to go around, man. If y'all have one word to sum up, what else you want to add additionally to this topic, what would it be? I'm going to start with you, B. One thing that you want to leave on with this topic in regards to should you disclose your sexual history to your partner? Does it matter? What would you add to the game?
I would just say, I love to, be authentic and just be comfortable in where you are in life. Okay. Do not feel pressured to do certain things, especially sexually, that you're not comfortable with, or to keep a partner because they're going to leave if they want to leave. There's nothing you can do. So just be true to who you are, where you are in life, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and really just stand on it. Don't be pressured to do anything that you ain't ready to do.
Right. Well, I'll say this. Women want a man with a bright future, right? And women want a man and men want a woman with a decent past. So when it comes to anything that could jeopardize the relationship, be open and transparent. Be open in the beginning, so that way that can set the tone for the relationship, and knowing each other's past and history, so that way they can help mold and know how each other can cohabitate with each other, knowing their past. So definitely be open and transparent.
How about you?
I'm gonna leave on this note. When it comes to a person's past, sexual past, experiences, what they've been through, it's okay if you don't want to carry it to your grave. It's also okay if that person creates a safe space for you to want to share that information with them. But at the end of the day, go with your own instincts. I always remember, at the end of the day, stand on your truth. Always stand on your truth. Some people gonna be judgmental. Some people gonna be understanding. You know, this is the world we live in. But at the end of the day, I ain't God. I can't judge you. I'm not in no position to do so. But I think naturally, you know, we all are judgmental to some form of fashion. But at the end of the day, as long as you have your self-respect and you're open and honest with the person you're with, it's all good. But man, this has been an amazing episode, guys. We're gonna continue dropping that fire for you. Chocolate Conversations podcast. Appreciate you, Dr. V, for doing your thing. My man Hafiz the
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Legend, doing his thing.
Yes,
And
sir.
again, I'm your host, Keon Taylor, aka Key, and you just heard another Chocolate Conversations podcast episode. Until next time.